Hello, this is Suzy from Bonsai Druid, and I'm going back to one of the first trees that I showed when I first started, which is this is Ficus burtt-davyi, South African fig. Had it probably about 25 years. It's got a pretty good sized little trunk. You know, I've always tried to keep it small, so it's it's old. Well, 25 years old, that's not super old, but that's how long I've had it. And it was just a little stick of a thing when I got it, so I've kept it alive this long. You can see it's got all this crazy growth growing out of here. I'm trying to create a new leader or top of this tree, and again, try to get some branches, better primary branches. This thing literally has like ladder branches going most of the way around it. But again, I can't cut everything off. Just can't bring myself to do it, and I'm not sure what would happen if I did, so let's see if I can get this tree in focus. So here we are. There's a branch down here. This branch is a little bit higher up. Unfortunately, it also has a really large swelling on the underside and on the top. It looks like a big bulgy mess. See all the way around this branch here? Just swollen like all the way around from various years of having a branch start there and then having to have it cut off for whatever reason. Sometimes infestations and things like that have happened over the years. This branch is low down. I chopped it earlier in the year. It's now got a new leading branch growing out of that, so I'll clean this up. This one has gotten way long up here on the top. I have to do something about that one. This has one little tiny leaf on it, really hoping I can keep it. It's a little lower than this one, so we have this is the lowest. This is slightly above that. And then at 90 degrees to this kind of slightly crooked ladder, I have this slightly crooked ladder of a really small branch and then an older branch that, again, I'm trying to keep in proportion. Then I have a bend here where I really wish there was a branch. So here, I'd like a branch. I don't have one. Here at the next bend, I do have a branch. Barely. It's got one little growth on it. At 90 degrees to that one, I've got another ladder going on. Let's see, right here, there's a branch here. And across from it is another branch here. They're not very big. This one's in the way, which is near the top of the tree, but it grows back down. You can see it better from the back side. That's what's going on at the top. I have a fork right. Everybody wants to get in the frame. They're being photobombed by my tree. Right here, it branches just above that into a fork that then goes horizontal. Like each one goes off in its own direction, horizontal. And then right beside that is another fork. Right here. So there's an excessive amount of stuff going on right at the top of the tree. So I'm going to trim some stuff back because why not? So first I'm going to clean up this branch on the bottom. Closer. There's some a shoot that's growing straight down. That's not going to help me. So that's coming off. This right here goes in a Y shape. Also a fig on here. I'm going to take the figs off because I don't really want to be wasting energy growing figs this year. I usually let them do that, but they sit there and do it all year long. This one again is growing to the inside of a branch next to this other longer branch and up too high. I don't really want that. I don't think I really want that there. I need something better than that. Take that off. And I think I'm just going to take that off altogether. And I'll trim this branch back a bit. One thing I won't be doing, which is something that I do usually do, is reduce my leaf size, but right now I'm trying to just work around the large leaves because worrying about leaf size isn't where I should be right now with these guys, I guess. Can't do anything with this little guy over here because he's just one little twig. So we're going to go back over to this side of the tree. The other side of this unfortunate, it's not quite a ladder. They're stepped a little bit, but really not enough, I don't think. I need something up here. So this one has stuff growing underneath it. And then this long stem here, which I want because I want this branch to thicken a little more. Let's see. But I don't really think it needs these other things crowding it. This species of tree will have the same trouble that some of my other ones have had, where they love to form large swellings in knuckles if you're not watching them. You need supervision. Turn your back, I tell ya. You sneak up, you get a big lump. I don't know how I'll ever fix that without shearing off that side of the tree or carving at it at some point, but these things leak a lot of sap when you start doing that. There's another little bud back here. It's growing in the wrong direction. Probably pinch it off. Oh, I trimmed the nails on my hand. So now I can't pinch off like I usually would do. I'm going to leave this little side branch for the moment and this one. But I'm trimming this back because I want to keep this little branch not developing too much thicker than this. This is a little side here, and this will be the main. Okay. The next one up from there is this little guy here. Again, can't do anything with him because he's so small. There's a little bud and a leaf right here near the base. I'm hoping something else will happen further down this stick. Otherwise, I gotta start from there. So then I get up to right here. There's a branch here. It's not thick, and it might be good for the back side of the tree, because I have a feeling the front is going to be somewhere over here. So I want to keep this. It forks. I think one fork comes this way a little more, one fork goes that way. I think I'm going to wait on that. No, maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, let me wait on that and move up the tree a little further. I'm not sure whether I want to take off this inner one or this outer one. But once I do the rest of the top, then I might know whether to pick one or the other of those. So this is the next one up. Again, right here. It's very thin. So I might I might nip this tip off in case I can get back budding closer, but I don't, I want that branch to grow out so it'll get a little bit thicker than what that is. So, let's pitch that out. And this one is still in contention. So the next one toward the top of the tree is this shoot right here. Pretty long. It's very thick already. So I'm going to turn it back quite a bit and then take a look at what this branch is doing, and then I know if I need to remove this one altogether. Now I'll cut it there. So then this. Sure if you can see that. It comes out from here all the way along. That's all wood. And then it's got 1, 2, 3, basically 4 shoots all coming out of the same place. So I'm going to pick, because there's a kind of a length here that is too long for that to be the apex or the leader, I'm going to go ahead and take off this upward growing one. And let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take this lower one. That's already kind of thick, so see, I cut this one up in this direction. I'm looking at this one. Oops. Take it from here. So that shortens that one. I just trimmed this one. Now there's still another little shoot kind of cupping up above it. Oh, it's so hard to see. It's got this little shoot coming up. But I've already trimmed some things here. I'm not sure I can make that a side branch. We'll let it be for now. So I'm this far up the tree. Technically, what's going on over here is the next one. So I'm going to shorten this just to get it out of my way. So I know it's not going to be taller than this. I've got something trying to make a nest in here. Back to a bud. Let's remove that whole little web. Make sure there's nothing else in there. Okay. Okay, back up here. This branch here is also growing low. I don't really need that, so that's coming off. This old stem is coming off. Again, we're still looking at basically the back of the tree here. Go ahead and clip this top to an outward facing leaf. Now that I've cleared away a lot of the mess, I'm not sure if you can see this. The trunk, you can see it from the front better? Not really. The trunk comes up, curves, comes up, curves, and I've got like 3 possible apexes. So this has been on here for a long time. I think I'm going to cut that whole thing off, and then this right here will probably be the apex, or possibly one of these two. But there's way too much going on up here. I'm going to say it should be this. I'm going to leave a stub for dieback on that, because it's kind of thick. Looks like there was something under that too, and that's actually on the inner curve of, so let's see if that's deadwood. Not close. no sap, but it's not really hard. So I'll let that die back a little bit more. This little stump here, this little stump here. I am going to... I'm going to make this the new leader. Somehow. There's one here and there's one here. Alright. Because I need to see what's going on here, I'm going to take this back. Well, maybe you can see a little better what the top of the tree is doing. So the top of this tree is coming up, bending upward and forward, but then going straight up again. Then there's a branch here and a branch on this side. I have a tiny little bud with one little leaf right here, which is closest to the top and center of this main part of the trunk of the apex. Or there's this little one to the side. If I take this little one to the side, I probably will have to remove this branch. If I leave this little one in the center, I may have to take off this little branch, but it's so small, it's hard to judge which would be the better spot. But this little guy is closer to the top, so I think I'm going to take this one off so that I don't get any further swelling up in this top, and then I may be able to reshape, like carve this out so that it's not so knobby. And there's also, it feels like a little bud down here, so I think I'm going to remove this branch because these branches are kind of heavy to be up here. A little bit. I'm going to remove this back to this bud. It's actually to this bud, but I want to leave some dieback room because these things do sometimes like wither back further than you expect. This burt-davyi has done that to me a few times. At least a few times. It's very sparse. Also, if anyone has any other ideas, like should I possibly truncate this entire tree back down to these lower levels and start over? Let's see if I can do this way. I don't know if that would do it any better. The trunk is nice and thick. It really looks thick when it's that low. That's a tough one. So I think, as of now, this side is the leader. This right here may be extra and need to be either removed Not sure yet. It's pretty thick. But if I cut it back, will I get anything new to grow there? That's the problem. Everything on this tree wants to be a bar. Looks odd to leave this like this, but branch here, branch here, branch here, and a branch up here. These two are pretty close. But without that, I mean, well, that is in the front though. This technically would end up being the front of a tree. So that would be an eye poker, as Steve calls it. But good grief, if I take that off, what have I got? Well, I'm going to take it off. Let's see. I can't believe these are cleaning or cutting or sharpening. I'm not sure. Of course, they just don't like to cut the sticky ones, like fungus. So I'm leaving this branch long to increase this trunk. It's a little thin for this low. This one now can be cleaned up a little more. So this would be the first to go. Don't need something else creating any more bulges on this already very bulgy bulge. What's going on under here, guys? A lot. Well, there's about 3 different twigs growing under here. This one's a little further back. This one's a little further forward. Figs. More figs. That one doesn't want to come off. It's a stubborn fig. You don't need to do that right now. Okay. It's amazing how dense some of this can get with little twigs and branches and bulges. I was wishing somebody made a teeny tiny knob cutter, but I haven't been able to find one. It's as teeny tiny as I want. So again, this is my front, so this is another eye poker that I'm going to have to take off. So this is technically the front. Unfortunately, it's got a big ugly sore right in the top of it, unless I reshape the top of this tree at some point. But I would say this is pretty much the front. Cleaned up this lower branch, leaving this a little bit to gain some girth on this branch here. This one in the back needs to grow. And this one's probably already plenty thick enough. It just needs some secondary branches. This one, only a little bit of thickening up. And then I got to decide what to do with the top of the tree, or whether I have to let this tree grow bigger, taller. I really don't want it any taller. I'm not sure if I can make it shorter because I don't know where I would end up. Where I would end up with the leader. I don't really have a go-to. If I start coming down lower, maybe this branch. So yeah, another one that I've mishandled for many, many years, so now we're in this kind of a state. And it got a repotting last year into this pot, which is a little bigger than its other pot. So it's got multiple things growing on. I'm trying to get a better root. I got an alright root base. If I could keep the moss from growing on it. It's not gorgeous, but it's thick. The real issue is getting some branches. I just want to grow some branches. I wish there was a magic potion that was like, here, brush this on, and a branch will grow there. So if anybody knows of the magic potion, I could sure use it. So thanks for sticking around and watching me mangle this tree a little more. Hopefully I'm going to get it growing in the right places where it needs to. And we'll take another look at it. Probably be several months before I touch this tree again. Thanks for being with me today, and see you on my channel, Bonsai Druid. Have a good night.